Hello, my beautiful crafty friends, and welcome to Edith's Kreatives Chaos. So, as you can see, today we're working on the cover that we've made in the last video. So, if you missed the last video, check out the description box. And on this cover we will work with steam clay. I explain that a little bit later. Here is the cover now. I have painted the cover on the inside with white and taped them with ordinary packaging paper, and on the outside I've painted them very rough in some green tones with acrylic paint, and this is now my base we can work on. I will work on this cover with steam clay, and I have also die cutted this stack. This is from Stamperia, from Magical Forest paper, and I have seen this paper and I fell in love in a second, and so I wanted him to be the star of the show. So you heard it 2 times. We work today with steam clay. So what is steam clay? Steam clay comes from Funkelkram. It's a German brand, and steam clay is a polymer clay that you have to bake. I will link the brand Funkelkram in the description box. So when you work with this clay, you can mold it by hand or you use a mold. Then you have to bake it in the oven by 110 to 130 degrees, about 20 to 30 minutes, and then it's ready and it stays very flexible. I love to work on book covers with them. I plan here some book covers on that I've made, and when you open the book there is some movement. So you close the book, you open the book, and the clay will stay very flexible. It will not break so easy like a very hard clay. And as you can see, I've made so many book covers with this. I love this clay very much to working with. I don't know about any other clays that stay so flexible. I have found this and it works for me very well. I don't get paid to recommend this. I think it's an ideal thing for me to sculpt my book covers, and you can see when it's big it is very flexible. So what will I do with my clay? I come up with an idea to show what's on my paper. There are many elements of forests, and you see these ornaments in the background, so I decided to do some ornaments. I have a silicone mold. Silicone molds work very well with this clay. So when you work with this clay, use baking paper. I've traced the height and the width of my cover on this baking paper, as I can see how much space I have to work with the clay, that my elements become not too big. So when you work with the clay, when you break a little bit, it's hard, as you can see. So you first have to knead the clay. until it's soft and easy to shape. It's a little bit work, but not too much. You only have to knead them. As I said, silicone molds works very well. What you also can do is stamp with silicone stamps on the clay. As you can see, I now have some script on my clay, and you can bake this also and work with this piece. So anyways, now let's do the ornament with the silicone mold. So what I have learned with working with silicone molds, it works the best when you separate small pieces and put them into the silicone mold very tight. And when you have such a very delicate mold like this, it is very good when you take small pieces and put them into the mold. It works not very well when you make a great piece and put him on top of the mold. I've learned this works the best. So now we have filled the mold, and don't pull them out like I show you. That will not work. The clay is too soft to pull them out like this. Instead, you have to turn around the mold, push them very hard to the surface. You can also use a rolling pin to go over it. I take the tacky glue because it's on my desk and it does the same. I roll them a few times, and then you can lift the silicone mold and you have the ornament on your baking paper. So, and what I will do now is to take the excess off. I do this before baking. You can also do it after baking and take a scissor and cut it off, but I will do it before because I think it's a waste of clay, and so you can use the clay again. So now you can see there is nothing excess left, and so we can go on. And now I decided to do some or one tree for the background for my stack. So now I look on the size of my stack and how many places I have left on the cover, and how to place the pieces. And what I also want to do is bring some nature materials on the cover. I have some piece of wood that I like to glue on the cover. So now I will sculpt a little tree. I took this tree on the paper for references, and I will sculpt this freehand because I don't have any molds. So when you notice that your clay gets too sticky, then it's probably too warm in your room or your fingers are too warm. So take your hands under a cold shower or open the window to make it a little bit fresh. And when you notice it's too sticky and you get your fingerprints on the clay, you can take a silicone tool like I have, or you can also take a very soft brush, put it into a little piece of water and stroke upon your surface. So I'd like to make a way, a place that the stack can stay on, and I decided to stamp on this pathway because I think it looks interesting and it gives them some structure. You hardly see that it's a script. It looks like a way with stones. It gives them a nice texture. So now these tiles are ready to play. I have baked them about 25 minutes with 130 degrees in my oven. And now I can play around and I can place them on my cover and can decide what to do next. I think it's always important to have a little play around with your tiles, and then you can see it comes out very well, or it's not like this you imagine in your head. Sometimes you imagine some things, but that don't look very good. So this ornament is too big in my case now. As you can see, in the meantime, I have finished my tree. I painted them with some acrylic paints, and I give them some needles that I clayed on with a fake moss, and I also glued down some piece of wood and my pathway that I've made out of the clay. And now I will let them dry. Yes, here you see the moss. I've glued them on with heavy matte gel, or you can also use some tacky glue or some bookbinding glue. That will also work. Yes, I like to have this ornament on my cover, but it is too big. And yes, the stack, yeah. Sometimes you make some things, but they don't work. So I'm pretty sure I find a place for my ornament, but this place will not be on my cover, and also not on the book spine, because I like to sew the signatures in at this time, and this will be too thick to sew through the polymer clay. So for now I will let it go. I'll show you how to work with clay, and if you want to know the finished journal looks like, then wait for my next video. In my next video I will show you the finished journal Spirit of the Forest. So, if you like this video, please subscribe or hit the like button. That helps my little channel. And now I have to say, feel inspired, go crafting, and see you at the next time at Edith Kreatives Chaos. Ciao, ciao!